What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you some step-in content today. So let's go ahead and dive right in. We got a new update, and if you didn't notice, I know by the time you watch this, it might be too late, but we all got refilled energy. So everybody got a little bit of energy, extra energy, I should say, if you had emptied it out before the update, which I had done, and then I woke up, and it got me to go for a walk in the morning, which I don't normally do, but I wanted to take advantage of the extra energy, and I still plan to go for my usual run in the afternoon. So that's just a quick aside. In case, go ahead, pause this video and go for a run if you watch it in time. Now, this update brought to us the sneaker enhancement, aka the burn mechanism, where you can burn 5 lower quality sneakers to get 1 better quality sneaker. Now, what I've heard from this so far is that it doesn't really matter what level you burn at or what levels you burn these sneakers at. It is going to start at level 0 or level 1, whatever the initial level is. So the other major thing is the energy sharing that came through. Now, if you remember, this was going to be tapered down whenever there is a new realm added, so that energy sharing isn't going to be something that lasts forever, but only for a maximum of 3 months with, again, the benefits tapering down over time. So there was a massive sell-off in the market this morning, and the prices have somewhat recovered by now, but I was seeing, at least within the app, the floor price drop below 3 Solana. So I guess I should have jumped in. It would have been a good opportunity. But that got me thinking about something a little bit more broadly here. And that was, if you've been following, what's essentially happening on Solana or the Solana network right now. Now, with all these liquidations, I'm going to tie this back in, don't worry. But with all these liquidations around Celsius and around 3 Arrows Capital, 3AC, there was some fear that the liquidations would hit the Solana network very heavily. And I want to point you to, I don't know how to say his last name, but Miles. Miles' thread here. I don't want to sound like an idiot, so sorry, Miles. But basically, this thread goes through what happened or what is happening currently with the Solana blockchain as well as the Solend protocol and why we should care. So very quickly, right now, there are 3 major liquidations I got my eye on, worth of positions Wrapped Bitcoin, Solana, and ETH. But the Solana situation is by far the most intriguing and has sparked intense debate. Here's a breakdown of what is occurring. So a Solana whale deposited $160 million worth of SOL on Solana protocol to borrow $108 million. So as this position creeps closer to liquidation, it began to trigger fears that the user funds could be put at risk. So Solana's recent instability lends itself to potential issues amidst a mass liquidation event. Additionally, user funds could be vulnerable due to high slippage. So in response, the Solend protocol decided to reach out to the whale to negotiate a solution. They claim that the whale will present a systemic risk to the Solend and its users. And letting a liquidation of the size happen on-chain is extremely risky. But the whale didn't respond, so Solend issued a proposal which intends to grant emergency powers to temporarily take over the whale's account so the liquidation can be executed OTC. You see where we're going? See where we're going with this? So the proposal was met with vast public backlash, as many claimed that the intervention directly combats the essence of decentralization, which many, including myself, would agree. Now, code label Sol situation comedy. Okay, so CZ also got in there. So if we learned anything from the Celsius and 3AC situations, that on-chain transparency is much needed, or is a much needed component of the crypto financial ecosystem. This is the exact problem that DeFi is intending to solve. So even SB, okay, so another person agrees, but despite this backlash, the proposal voted yes by 97.5%. But this is where things get interesting. So it turns out that over 90% of the votes were issued by a single user. The fate of 270 million user assets are effectively being decided by a single entity. And this is a fundamental flaw in the design of the system, as voting power is decided by DAO holdings, or decided by your DAO holdings. So this resulted in further division amongst the community. Solon quickly rushed to fix their mistake by invalidating the vote and issued a new proposal to invalidate the last proposal and increase governance voting time to 1 day. So the voter took to Discord to justify the position. They claimed they'd rather salvage $120 million of retail dollars instead of holding up DeFi ethos for some whale that is degenerately gambling, and I don't blame them. So the decision to invalidate the vote, although I believe it was the right thing to do, according to Miles, raised another important issue. What's the point of the DAO if proposal outcomes aren't adhered to? So the initial proposal was fundamentally flawed and far too easily manipulated by a single party, but in addition, canceling the proposal invalidates the very authority a DAO claims to have. A double whammy of decentralization degradation. Now, I don't think we need to go further into this, but the reason I bring this up is because it highlights the lack of decentralization in Solana, and we already know that Solana is going through some major issues and has had downtime recently, right? So the stability of the network hasn't really been proven and battle tested through, I would say, maybe like a long bear market, although many others haven't either. But we're already starting to see some cracks in the scenery here, or in the foundation, and so that got me thinking. Is it worthwhile to take my assets off of Solana? Meaning I'd have to sell them and get started on a different realm. Now, right now, there is only Binance, but we know that there is another realm coming very soon, I believe as early as July. And so when I think about this, and I think, okay, well, we don't know what that third realm is. But if it's Ethereum, I've already heard people say in private conversations that if Ethereum is the next one, I'm selling all my assets off Solana and I'm moving to Ethereum. And my question is, okay, whether Ethereum is or is not, are we at risk here? Is there a systemic risk? And should I be pulling and selling my assets off of Solana and putting them on Binance Smart Chain? Now, the thing is, for Binance Smart Chain, it's not necessarily as decentralized. I mean, it's kind of a branch of the Binance Binance platform, the Binance Exchange, which is one of the biggest exchanges in the world. But I would say that the network has actually had quite a bit of stability and is backed by a very powerful entity within the crypto space. Binance seems to be doing very well despite the downturn. So the question becomes then, well, how much risk is there? Now, I can't answer that question for you, but I am bringing this to your attention because we've seen Celsius fail, we've seen Luna fail, we've seen Three Arrows Capital get into trouble, right? So, I'm sorry, we shouldn't say that Celsius has failed, but clearly we are at a very vulnerable time within both the broader market context as well as within crypto itself. And what Luna taught me, right? What Luna taught me is that nothing is safe, right? Ultimately, it's just Bitcoin, right? It's just Bitcoin that is the one that's truly decentralized. You can say Ethereum to a certain extent, but the thing is, Ethereum has its own problems, and hopefully that will be worked out over time. So people look at Binance Smart Chain and say, like, okay, Binance Smart Chain is a main competitor to Ethereum, but really Binance Smart Chain is not as decentralized as Ethereum, but does what it does really well. I mean, it's cheap, fast, efficient, and again, it's not as decentralized as maybe many people would like. But I do have. Let me put it this way. I guess I have a little bit more trust in Binance Smart Chain than Solana at this point in time, just due to the fact that it has been running smoothly and has solid backing. Now, Solana does have the solid backing as well, but here's exactly why I'm sharing this with you. I get nervous about it. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm considering doing myself. Now, the truth is, I have not, STEPN was my first major foray into the Solana network and the Solana blockchain. So I don't have massive amounts. I have 3 shoes and enough Solana just to make transactions. It's not, if I were to lose everything, I don't want to lose everything, but if I were to lose everything with the blockchain going down or things just massively crashing, it wouldn't be the end of the world for me. But I know many others may have a lot more invested. So this is not intended to drive FUD. I'm just reading this and in the context of what has been happening as we go through this great deleveraging, right? And we're seeing a lot of big entities, corporations, and institutions getting knocked out. At this point, nothing is off the table. So what I'm trying to do, at least with this video, is to tell you if you have on the Solana blockchain more than you are comfortable losing, then this is something that you should be researching right now. Take a closer look. Start right here where I'm giving you on Twitter, but really try to understand what could be happening in the short, medium, and long term on Solana. And if you believe in a project like STEPN, then maybe consider going into one of the other realms, right? So right now it's just BSC, but in the future we could have a different realm, and I wonder if things will shake up in a very broad way if that realm ends up being Ethereum. Now the reason, and I go back to the energy part, is that people were selling off their Solana shoes, and I didn't see as much of a dip on the Binance side. So the folks who were in Binance were just getting rid of what they had in Solana. Again, this is all just my perspective, so there's nothing, official here, and none of this is financial advice. It's just financial advice. But I guess, well, to a certain extent, it's financial advice in the sense that I'm telling you, as a friend, if you are nervous and you have more than you are okay losing, right? That's the whole mantra. If you have more than you are okay losing, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you to be careful and to take a closer look at what is happening with the very large players around these blockchains, because it only takes one massive black swan event, a la what happened with Luna, to really start this cascade downwards. So that's all I have for you in this video. Be safe, guys. Do your research, see what you can, see what you're comfortable with, and, hopefully everything is okay. I like Solana. From what I've done already and what my experience so far with STEPN, Solana's great. I'm not cheering for it to lose by any means. I don't want that to happen. But reading threads like the one that Miles shared do give me a little bit of pause and concern when it comes to the long-term stability of a lot of these other projects. Solana is much newer than Ethereum, for example, right? So, and Ethereum, again, is still going through its own problems, and Bitcoin's being Bitcoin. So I don't know what happens in the future, but I'm just telling you to do your own research. Take a look around. Getting back to the STEPN side, it's cool. We can get some sneaker burning now, but I'm not even there yet. I'm working towards it. But that's all I have for you. Have an amazing rest of your day. I will catch you all in the next video, and I will see you around the game. Keep stepping.